Radio, we're live and welcome to each and everyone. Sorry, this morning there was a hiccup in with our schedules and stuff like that. So, welcome to the blueprint: how to go from 0 to 200,000 per month in 5 years. With me today is JP. He's going to be on Skype, but he's going to share with us the way that he's handling his blueprint and the wealth creator strategy and formula and stuff like that. So first of all, thank you for each and every one. I see MD, what is happening? MD, I hope that we're on time at least this time. And Blunt, yeah. Mystery, waiting to hear how success was done. You're going to be in for a surprise. I hope that you've got a pen and paper ready. Hello, Manuela and Marlene and Rudy and Bruce and Tian and Lilo and Peter and Rian and okay, I love that. Okay, so the guys are coming on. We love those thumbs. It really helps. And then you can also help me if it's the first time that you're on this channel. Please make sure that you subscribe. All of that is going to count in terms of the algorithms that YouTube is using. And I think we need to get this message out. You know, JP, I think he's something like 32 years of age. And what he's achieved over the last 3 years is phenomenal. And each and every young person here in South Africa can do exactly the same. So make sure that you click on that subscribe button. And then also there's going to be a bell. Hit that bell so that you get notifications the moment that we do something on this channel. Here at the Wealth Creators Method, our mission is to help you to create, to grow, to protect, and to enjoy your wealth. And that is what we're going to do tonight. And luckily for us, we've got JP that's going to share his stuff with us. So I see Elaine is on, and Andre, and Tasha, and Paul, and Rodney, and Savannah, and Cindy. And okay, that is great. I really appreciate that. And thank you for. Let's quickly see if we can get JP on. Just a moment. Okay, JP, you're live. You can say welcome to the group. I know that you can't see and read there. I'll read and share the stuff from my side. I know also that you've done a PowerPoint presentation. So maybe give us like, I know that in the PowerPoint presentation you're going to do who you are and stuff like that. But just quickly say hello to the group and anything that you'd like to share before you start with the presentation.
Thank you, Hannes, and welcome to everyone that's joining us tonight. It's an absolute privilege to be in a position where I can share what I'm busy doing and what I've done with all of you guys. Like Hannes said, I've prepared a PowerPoint presentation where I'll give a little bit of my background and basically share my whole story with you guys.
Okay, so Rodney says, let me see, from a dark Stanford, power is out. Yay. Rodney, Tanya said to me that there's a possibility that it can happen here as well. So we hope that it's not happening. I spoke earlier to JP and he said to me that is it still stormy and out there in Cape or not?
Yeah, it's still raining and the wind is blowing quite hard, but it seems to have settled down a little bit now. They probably know we're busy with the live, so the storm will probably continue after the live.
That's great. Bruce Mills is giving us a tip here, and he says hit the like button. It helps the algorithm as well. Absolutely, Bruce. Thank you. Everything that you can do. I see there's a 15 thumbs up already, so I really appreciate that. Also, there's quite a few people on at the moment. We're 119, and I see people are still coming on. So that is great. Christo from Lyon. Hello, Amanus. Hello, Christo. Christo, I think we're the same age. But I prefer the Wim. Wim to me is an honorary title, Wim or uncle. You know, a lot of people call me Doc. I don't prefer that because that's actually a useless title. Johanna Blanche, I'm very proud of my son. How do you like that, JP? Okay, so your dad is on. He's going to listen to us as well. I really appreciate it, Johan, that you're on, and that you can be proud of JP. The one thing that I appreciate about JP is that you know, there's a lot of people, they study and they think and they do and they talk, but JP actually do this stuff. Manuela says, hi, JP, well done, and thanks for sharing this event. Rudy says, thumb up. Colin Euster, Hugo, JP, Jerome, hello. Giovanni, great to see. There's a lot of people that I haven't seen or talked to for a while, but you're all welcome. Bususwe, hello, Angela, Daryl. There's too many people. What I'm going to do, JP, if it's okay with you, let's get directly into the PowerPoint presentation. And then there's going to be a question and answer session afterwards. So then line up during the presentation. If there's anything that you'd like to ask JP or myself, there's going to be, and we'll stay on till the last person is answered. Also, those people that join afterwards, in the comment section, please react. This is not going to be general public, so unless you've got a link towards this, you will not be able to see it. So it's unlisted on YouTube. It's not going to be general knowledge. Right, and then Heinrich says, goeienaand, Hannes and JP, you guys are awesome. Thank you for that. Daryl, hello, Hannes and JP, thanks for sharing. Tasha, thanks JP for sharing. Robin, hi, and Eloise, hello. Hannes and Corneille, and yeah, we can carry on. I know that we're going to have a great presentation. So JP, are you ready to take over and do the presentation for us?
I'm ready, Hannes. Thank you.
Okay, let's go.
Right, guys. So Hannes asked me to prepare a PowerPoint presentation, and we're going to talk about online business and the power of affiliate marketing. So first of all, let's start with my background. I've got a very strong property background. I'm recently new to online marketing, but let me give you some of the background here. So I bought my first property when I was about 18 years old, and guess what? It failed. Then I bought my second property when I was 22 years old, and it also failed. And then I bought my third property when I was about 23 years old, and it also failed. And one day, my dad sent me an ad of a property seminar hosted by Dr. Dreyer. Now, he held this seminar somewhere in Durbanville in Cape Town. And, you know, I didn't really want to go, but I went. At the end of the seminar, I realized my first 3 properties failed, and there was a formula and a system that I needed to learn and to follow. Because I basically bought these property with emotions, and I didn't have any system or any, you know, education or experience, you know, in property. But more importantly, I learned that I needed to have a power goal, a plan that would give me direction. Because if you don't have a plan in place and you don't know where you're going, how can you track it and see if you are doing what you're supposed to do to get where you want to be? I bought a couple of courses and I started working through the content, and then I started implementing the lessons in real life. And soon I started to see a massive difference, and I built up a fairly handsome property portfolio. But then a new risk arrived, something that no one expected, and that's COVID-19. So let me share with you my goal. So what you see in front of you is my 5-year goal to reach financial freedom by December 2021. Now, I know this looks quite simple, basic Excel spreadsheet, but there's a lot more that goes into a goal. You know, a power goal is something that you need to create and to morph, you know, and it needs to be very not difficult, and it needs to be desirable. But yeah, there's a full course on power goals. But let me show you what I've done with property so far, and then you'll understand why I started to shift to online business. So basically in 2017, I bought a property. This was after I did the property course, of course. And I recorded a total income of 184,000 Rand for the year. Now, and a total cost of 180,000. Now, this total cost included the bond. So I made a profit of 4,350, and the 4,350 divided by 12 months gives me a positive cash flow of 362 Rand per month. Now, my target for the year was just to find a property where the income would cover all the costs and expenses, including the bond. And then once I got this, I basically rinse and repeat it, and I looked for a better property in the same area, but something that can give me a better growth. So then in I recorded a total income of 552,000 Rand, a total cost of 441. That left me with a profit of 110,000, and 110 divided by 12 gave me my 9,000 Rand per month average. So my target was 5,000 Rand. My target was 5,000 Rand, but I want to show you guys the growth. So to grow your money from the 362 Rand to 9,000 Rand gave me a growth of 2,451%. And I basically went in 2019 and I accelerated this whole process and I bought more properties. Then I recorded a total income of 2.4, total cost 1.5, 888,000 profit. That left me with 74,000 Rand per month profit. And as you can see, my target was to get to 50,000 Rand. So now we're here in 2020 and this is still work in progress. So the total income so far, 1,090,000, total cost 760,000, profit 330,000, and that 330,000 divided by 6 months gives me 55,000. And now this is where the problem came in with COVID. My target is to get to 145,000 Rand a month. And when the president announced lockdown here in South Africa, a new risk arrived, something that I didn't know will happen. And immediately, because of that new risk, I were unsure if my tenants were going to pay the rent, or some of them going to move out. So that basically told me that this little goal or this thing that I'm busy with here is at risk, and I need to find something else to supplement this to make sure that I reach my goal. And that's when I saw a Facebook ad and it's Laura. So Laura's Dr. Hannes' daughter, and she basically said that she's going to start a course to show and teach people how to start an online business. And the goal of this course is literally to make money, as soon as possible. So the course's name is From Startup to Income. And the goal of this course is to show people that they can make money literally within a couple of days. So I went and I bought the course and I completed it. But then I started to create a new, let's call it a smaller goal that's going to supplement this big goal. And I said at the end of December 2020, I want to reach at least 30,000 Rand per month on average. And then I broke this goal down into 91 days, 60 days, and 30 days. So let's have a look at the results so far. I've had a total income of 13,000 Rand. The total cost, 337 Rand. So I'm left with a profit of 13,000 Rand, and the 13,000 divided by 1 month, because I'm only been busy for 1 month, that left me with 13,160 Rand. Now the target was to get to 4,500. Now we're going to bump things up in the next 60 days. I want to get at least on average 9,000 Rand per month, but I'm going to grow this, and this will supplement my bigger goal. And by the way, I spent 337 Rand, and if you take 13,000 divided by 337 Rand, you're going to see that I've already had a growth of 3,895%. So let's talk about why affiliate marketing. So I'm taking myself as a good example here. I don't have any website. So you don't need a website to do affiliate marketing. You don't need software. You don't need products. You can sell someone else's products. In my case, this is what I've been doing. No marketing materials needed. No follow-up emails. No webinars. Dr. Hannes, Dreyer and his team, they host the webinars for you. You just need to direct the clients to them. And once you have a client, you are locked in for life. So this client is your client. If this client buys, let's say, a product today, and maybe 2 years from now they buy a different product, you will still get your commission. Now this all depends on what level or what class you are with the affiliate system, and there's certain rules and regulations regarding this client that's locked in for life, and then you can literally make money within a couple of days. So for me, it took me 2 weeks since I completed the course to make my first sale, and yeah, that's as fast as that. Another thing is anyone can do it. So, the last couple of years, I spent a lot of energy and my focus everything went to property. And I never really spent a lot of time on online business and affiliate marketing. And to be honest, I still haven't. I just did Laura's course. So, if I can do it, so can you. And then the last thing is you just have to invest in yourself and take action. You can give someone everything that they need, but at the end of the day, if they're not willing to, take action and make it work, nothing is going to happen. And this goes directly back to the power goal and why it's so important that you need to have a power goal before you start with anything. So a little bit of my results so far. I started the From Startup to Income course on the 18th of May. Then I posted my first Facebook ad the 2nd of June. Now this was an ad on my personal blog, so it didn't cost me any money. And then I made my first sale on the 17th of June, which was about just under 4,500 Rand. And then I made my second sale on the 23rd of June and my third sale on the 29th of June. So let's look at a quick comparison with regards to property versus an online business. Now guys, I need you to understand that I'm not dissing property here, and this property actually made me a lot of money, and it's still going to make me a lot of money in the future. All that I want to show you guys here is that if you don't have a surplus or you don't have any properties, the quickest way by far is to start an online business, generate the income, and then you use that money to pay for the deposit and pay for the transfers and the renovations, etc. So let's look at the comparison here. On the property side, I had to qualify for a bond. With the online business, you don't need to qualify for a bond. On this side, I spent 50,000 Rand on the deposit. And on this side, I spent 337 Rand on Facebook ads. And on this side, I spent 70,000 Rand on transfer and bond registrations, where with the online business, you don't need bond registration or transfer costs. The other side, I spent 100,000 Rand on renovations. This side, no renovations needed. And then it took me 12 months to make 4,350 Rand profit. And on this side, it only took me 2 weeks to make 4,500 Rand profit. Now, this is the power of an online business, and this is where I think the most value comes in. To take 2 weeks to make 4,500 versus 12 months to make 4,350 is a huge and a massive, massive difference. And then another thing is properties can't move and an online business can move. So for example, you can't pick up your property and go put it in a different country. But you can pack up your laptop and your cell phone and you can move. So the business moves wherever you go. So the reality is on this side, I had to spend 220,000 Rand and it took me 12 months to make 4,350. And on the other side, I spent 337 Rand and it took me 2 weeks to get to 4,500. It's now been 1 month and I made a total of 13,160 Rand. So again, guys, I'm not dissing property. Once you've bought this property and it starts working for you, there's almost no extra effort that goes into the property side. But all that I'm trying to tell you guys is if you really have nothing, no surplus, no properties, and you're basically just starting out from fresh, I would highly recommend to start on the online side because it's a little bit easier, it's a bit quicker, and you can use that money as a seed money towards your property portfolio. So, where do you start? And if I had to think back, I put you guys in my position when I started, is by far you must have a plan, a power goal. You need to have a goal to keep you focused and directed. And this is where the Power Goal bundle comes in. Hannes Dreyer and his team at the Wealth Creators University, they've got a full-blown course just on Power Goals. And this is really, really important to get your Power Goal and your plan in place before you start with any investment. Second thing is invest in yourself first. So if I could start over, I would definitely invest in the From Startup to Income course because it literally took me 2 weeks to finish this course, and then 2 weeks later I had my first sale, and the commission from the first sale was enough to cover my ads and even what I paid for the course. The third thing for me is you must take action. You know, you can buy these courses, but if you don't take action and actually work through them and implement them in the real life, nothing's going to happen. And then a very important item here for me is track your results. You know, I go crazy when I have to track results. I track every little small thing on an Excel spreadsheet, and that basically determines or tells me that what I'm doing is working or not. And if it's not working, then I know I need to change my strategy. And you know, it also highlights new risks for me. Exactly like this COVID-19, I immediately saw there's a new risk, and that meant that I had to do something else, which is why I started with this online business and affiliate marketing. Then last, rinse and repeat. Once you found something that works, whether it's property, online business, or any type of investment, you just see where you can improve, and then you rinse and you repeat the process. Right. So before I end this PowerPoint presentation, maybe I want to share a story with you. So this is me and my wife. And my wife left her job December 2019, and she used to be a teacher, and she had a real passion to work with children. But she worked for this government schools, and you know, it came to a point where the government put so many, or they squeezed so many children into a class that at one stage she had about 46 children in her class. So this is also in an area where there's, you know, the children don't really have a lot of discipline, and you know, it's really kids that needs a lot of attention. So I noticed that my wife started to have a lot of stress, and you know, people think because she's a teacher, she only works from 7 till 2, but you know, that's not the truth, because when they finished, they get home, and then they still have to mark the books, they have to set up new tests, and then there's all sorts of training sessions on weekends that the government want them to attend, and I haven't even included the sports and the netball and everything that happens on weekends. So the end result is that my wife worked a lot harder than I worked, and we couldn't really do a lot of things on the weekends, and she was tired, and you know, she didn't want to really go anywhere, and I really saw that the stress is starting to catch up with her. And luckily, because of my property portfolio, you know, we were in a position where she could leave her job, and you know, I'm still going to give my wife a lot more in the future, but even if this is the only thing that I can give her, that really makes me feel extraordinary. And you know, to be able to give someone a gift like that, it's undescribable. And you are in the same position where you want to, you know, maybe your wife or your husband or your father or your sister or your friend is working so hard, and you know that you can really see the stress. You know, you can if you really take action and do something and invest in yourself, I mean, you guys can get the same amount of growth that I'm getting, and I'm even sure that you can get a better result and better growth than what I'm currently getting. And really, if I can do something like this, anyone can do it. So that's it, guys. Thank you for listening to my PowerPoint presentation, and I hope you learned a lot.
Okay, JP, that was incredible, and thank you for sharing. I saw a couple of thumbs up. There's a lot of people that's cheering you, that's saying it's amazing. The one thing that I like about this whole thing, you know, when I started, I made a lot of promises to Tanya, my wife, and I think that was a motivation. And one of the things that I believe in, I remember Tanya said to me when we got married, before we got married, that she would like to stay at home and raise the children. To her, it was a very high priority, taking into consideration that she was basically a senior prosecutor and later a magistrate. That takes a lot of, you know, from her to say, but I'd like to do this full time. And I promise her that one day that she'll be able and be in a position to sit at home and look after the children. Of course, unfortunately, Tanya at the moment is working 10 times harder than what I'm doing. because she has to manage the portfolio and the businesses and the background, and I enjoy all the the nice stuff. And I think that is important, JP, because unless you've got a why, unless that is that thing that's going to drive you in order to get your power goal. But I think let's get JP back. Okay, JP, I'm going to read a couple of things, and then I'm going to make comments or ask you to make comments. As I've said, there's a lot of people that are busy participating. There's one person, Mark, that I'd like to, he made a comment. The cost of the course was not an expense then to start his new business. Mark, there's something that I'd like to show you. I do not see any investments that you're going to make in yourself in personal development. That is in a business course, in an investment course, in personal growth course. That cannot be a cost in terms of investment. And I think that we need to change our mindsets around this thing. If you're going to study to become an engineer or a medical doctor, and you go on and you get an MBA degree afterwards, and it's costing you, if you go to Harvard, it's going to cost you in the vicinity of, the last time that I checked for an MBA, 3 million rands in order to get that degree. When you get to the bank and you say, listen, I want to make an investment, the bank is not going to say, hey, buddy, because you've spent 3 million on yourself, I'm going to give you 10% or 50% or 100% more, or yes, a business, just get starting because you've got the degree. You've done that in terms of personal development. And I want you to really think about this. And in the future, that investment is so that you can do what JP's done. And it's because of the investments that JP is busy doing in himself that he's getting the results. But I can, and maybe JP, I can ask you, do you see any investments that you make in yourself as that should count towards the cost of, like Mark is saying? And Mark, that is perfect. And most people argue and think about it that way. But I really want you to change your mind. Your thoughts on this, JP?
Yeah, Hannes, I also agree with you. You know, I don't take into consideration the cost of self-improvement as an expense, because that's an expense towards what I use to improve myself as a human being and to increase my competency. You know, and that's the mindset that I've learned from you over the past years. But even if you go and you include the cost, which is not my mindset, but my first sale already covered my cost and my Facebook ads. And this goes to property as well. You know, when I started with the Property Pro mentoring course, I think that time it was about 12,000 or 15,000 Rand, you know, and in terms of my goal and the progress and the tracker that I've built, I've made way more than that 15,000 Rand. And the thing is that no one can take that knowledge away from me. I literally have to pass away for someone to take the knowledge out of my head. And, you know, I can implement that anywhere. So long story short is I don't see it as a cost to business, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Thanks for that, JP. And then also, you know, the one thing that I've learned in 1984, I attended a course that cost me at that point in time in terms of cost. And later on, I discovered it was the best investment that I could have ever done with Alan Pease in 1984, hot button selling. And it cost me in my gross income, not in terms of my net income, in terms of gross income, it cost me 2.7 months of income. Now, there's not a lot of people that is willing to invest that kind of thing. But my rationale around that was, here's a guy that's in the top of the table, the top 1% of the top 1% in the world in that industry. And he's willing to share and compact everything literally in a day. And even if he charges, to me, that was an incredible amount of money. But then I literally put myself forward and I said, if I could be in the top of the table, what would that amount be that he's charging? So he's actually giving that stuff almost away for free, but he doesn't and he can't give it away for free because then people are not going to appreciate that. And I've seen the thinking way and the way that my colleagues, they said this is a scam and this is a rip-off and how can you charge so much money? And but because they were in this limited mindset. But luckily for me, I did not pay attention, and I ended up in the top of the table. Now, I would never in my life. You had three properties before you started. You attended one course, one seminar and course that you went through. You changed two properties, as you've said, failed. And maybe we can go into the properties at a later stage because people would like to know. But if you've got a property and that property can't give you a positive, that property is a damn failure. And I see that people are willing to lose hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of rands, especially over a 5 and a 10-year term, simply because they don't want to go and do a court. To me, that's ridiculous. I can't, but now I can't speak for everyone, but I can't see if you do a course and a mentor says, I'm going to give all of my information. You're 32 years of age. I retired at 37. But you are miles ahead of me at your stage, because that's the function of a mentor, is to get a person and say, hey, buddy, let me help you forward, and let me share this information. And I thought I'd like to share that. Any comments on your side while I'm going through this, the comments?
No, definitely, Hannes. I mean, we don't have to reinvent the wheel. And you basically condensed everything that you learned and you took out the fluff and you presented that to me in a course, and I took advantage of it. I paid my price. I took advantage of the course, and I implemented the course. And in fact, I did the Property Pro mentoring course 3 times over. And I want to start doing it over again, because when you go through a course, on the first time, you only take a certain amount in. And then when you do it a second time, you take more in. So you just need to keep on learning. I've managed to log on to YouTube while we presenting, and I see that Mark also has another question with regard to failed how. Now, I assume this is with a property. Maybe I can make it a quick one. So the first property that I bought was a fairly okay property. It was a cash flow property, but I made stupid little things like I didn't put the tenants through a vetting process. Okay, I didn't put in prepaid water meters. I didn't put in prepaid electricity meters. And also my first investment was a couple of kilometers away from me, about 50 kilometers. So the property started out good, but because I didn't, and also I didn't employ a professional managing agent to manage the property on behalf of me, because I was penny wise, pound foolish, and I said I want to save the 10%. But at the end of the day, I put in bad tenants in the property. They used a lot of water and a lot of electricity. And at the end of the day, they just moved out, and left me with the bills. And then my mindset at that stage when I bought property was for capital gains. And I literally held that property for about 4 years, and I sold it for 30,000 Rand more than what I bought it for. But when I did the calculations and I go back and I deducted all the rates and the taxes and the interest and the maintenance, I saw that I made no money. I actually made a loss. So in terms of fail, that's how the first property failed.
Thanks for sharing that, JP. Bruce says, thank you, powerful and simple. There's a lot of people that complimented you, or compliment you. That's great. Honest, well done, JP. Are there any questions for JP? Chris says, eye-opener. Lenta says, thank JP, great stuff. Giovanni, thank you, JP, excellent. Andre, well done. Elaine, that's super inspiring. And personally, I think this is super inspiring. When you see a person of 32 and you've done what you've done, as well as the fact that you could put your wife on the retirement. I'd like to brag and say Tanya retired a long time before. I retired at 37, but Tanya actually retired at 29, and no one knows about it. But that takes a lot of doing in order to get your wife to be able to retire. Okay, so great for that. Jerome, excellent. JP, massive action taker. Martin, Colin, I just want to go through. Everyone compliments you. Okay, you only use Facebook ads up until now. Actually, there's a whole channel that I'd like to. Is there anyone that wants to follow this process? Let me tell you quickly how this thing comes about. That JP is busy doing a presentation with me. He post after his first sale, and he said, "Okay, but what now?" Because the from startup to income is actually that's the first step that you have to take. But then you have to scale your skills. And I said, "Okay," because he's on the method mentoring, and I said, "Okay, I'll do the exception, and I'll take him, and I'll guarantee him within the next 91 days, if he's doing what I'm telling him to do, he'll take that 4,000 and at least 1,000% growth within the 91 days." And that's how it started. And we started recording this. So if you want to get access to that, because there's a lot of learning that you're going to get from that as well. If you want that, then just give me a 1 in the comment section or in the chat box that I can see. Mark, I just saw directly related to the new starter business when I saw the expense number. Thanks, Mark. And that is one of the things that I want to compliment you, Mark, is, you know, we need to be skeptic, because I'm a very, very skeptic person. If someone tells me something, I want to see a verification. And that is one of the reasons why I've put in almost so much effort in order to be able to answer you, because the moment that you make that breakthrough, Mark, your life changes. And there's a lot of people, we call it a resistor. There's a lot of people that has got a lot of resistors, and those resistors are the things that keeps them from becoming the best that they can be. And our job, my job, is to help you to overcome that. Now, it does not always work. Some people hear this, but they don't understand what I'm trying. My Afrikaans and my English is not always up to speed. But if you can feel my heart, you'll know that whatever I do from my heart in order to try to help you. Even if I crap on you sometimes, and my children will understand that, because there's a lesson in everything, all right? And if we can take the lesson, that is going to give the breakthrough. Rudy, that's the difference between value and cost. Fabulous. Alex, is it possible to pay for the course in installments? I'm sure that it is. I've got nothing to do with the finances. It's not an expensive course, by the way, Alex. I'll come back to you just now. Well said, Umanis and JP. I've learned something again. Andrew Marks, 7-year undergrad, 2 years national, okay, and 5 years postgrad, and not a day's business training. The cost of that, you can do the sum. I know Andrew, and Andrew been following me for quite some time, and he's a specialist in what he's doing. I'm not going to say what you're doing, but the 7 years giving everything away. So the doctor, right? And this is the bad part, you know. Medical doctors and architects and all the professionals, they go through incredible training to actually get them in a state where they become slaves, because that is damn hard work. Instead of teaching us about business skills and you know, investment skills, because it comes down to investments. And if you can get that right at the early stage, and you love your profession, you are still full-time doing what you're doing, JP. And this is the beauty about it. The moment that you can combine this stuff, and maybe I can give you a little bit of training if you're going to have the time, in terms of the sequencing of stuff. And I'm going to ask you a question just now, JP, what is success? And just to see if you've paid attention. I'll come back to you just now. Okay, so Rudy, property investment is very forgiving. You've got 27 variables. Absolutely. Rudy is also one of, Rudy, by the way, bought a rock. I sold a little rock for, I think, 9,500 Rand, just to show people that you can sell anything. There were 3 or maybe 100 people or 200 people. And Rudy was actually the person that bought the rock. I think, Rudy, you've got a hell of a lot of value from that rock, just to show people that you can do whatever you want to. Right, Mark says, oh, I got it, thanks. Never invest for capital gains. It is speculation, only for income. Right, Sishwe, right, great. Shubi, thanks, JP. Johnny, amazing. Right, properties in your own name, or are they? Manuela, we can go into the properties in maybe a different or another session. Let's let's say to the blueprint. And the blueprint is actually very, very simple. I hope that you've caught it. The first thing is, unless you're going to have a goal, you're going to have a serious problem. The second thing that once you start, there's three kinds of let's call it income streams that, and you don't always need to do it in the three. But the first thing that I think that you should do is to gain a skill to give you income. In other words, we call it an income skill. In other words, you generate the income and you know how to do it. Affiliate marketing, this that you've done, or copywriting, or webinar selling, or internet marketing, SEO marketing, those are high skill, and it takes literally a week or two to learn that skill. So now you know that I can go anywhere and I've got this skill. Maybe you can become a medical doctor. That takes too long for me, in any case, or an engineer or something like that. But in my case, and my children, all my children, they had to do the rainmakers and proof, and all of them literally within 2 weeks took and gain a skill that they still use up to today, but it's a high income skill. The second thing that you then do is you take that skill, and with the surplus in that skill, you roll the surplus back into your business. So the business start making money. So I'm making money, you make the money, and then you start with the business to make the money for you. And the ideal is what JP is busy doing right now. He's taking that high skill and he turns the high skill, income skill, into a business skill. So the two start supplementing each other, and it's not related to a specific position. And I think this coronavirus has taught us one thing, and that is that you cannot rely on anything where you've got a job anymore, or where you're situated in South Africa and the government is doing the chaos that they're doing. Right. So the moment that you've got the second stream of income, and it's not to say that it's going to work the first time, but even if it fails, you still got this high income skill that you've got that can put you back into the game. And then once you've got the surplus, you then take the surplus and you invest it in the property. So now you know how to work for your money, high skill. You know how to let your business work for you, and you know how to let your money work for you. And this is literally the process. So I'd like to come back to you quickly, JP. In terms of success, what's your definition, or how do you see success, or how do you get or become successful?
It all boils down to the right information at the right time for the level of the game that you're at.
Absolutely, JP. In other words, and this is what I'm saying. In other words, it's to be successful, I need to get the right information in the right order. That order is crucial. And then for the level that I'm at, it's no good if you do something, but you're not there yet and you can't apply that. You have to apply that you learn instantly, right? And start seeing the result. And also another thing that at school we've learned, and at varsity, and that you must do it right. Life is not about right. Life is about doing. You learn when you make the mistakes. That is a learning experience, because that is where you build the competency. Competency is when you've got the skills, the knowledge, and the experience. That gives you the competency. And that competency, no one, as JP has referred to, can ever take away from you. Right, so thanks for that. I see a lot of ones, and because of that, I'm going to share with you the link right at the end. But there's a lot of more value that, yes, there's a lot of ones. Okay, that's amazing. Rudy says, JP, I would love to give you a challenge in the form of from startup to income, affiliate business. I'm not sure what that is. I'm the crazy guy that bought the rock from Umanis for 7,500. I thought it was 9,500. So you got it even for a bloody discount, Rudy. Okay, 7,500. This was my starting journey with Doc Honest many years ago at a free seminar on the bites. Here I learned the real difference between price and value, and that's perfect. Tian, the Wealth Creators University courses are incredible and worth every cent. The combination of property, the online business, and it's definitely worth the combination. Well done. And this is the method. The method started from this challenge where I said that I'm going to invest only $1 and take that $1 in a cryptocurrency portfolio, which is the highest risk that you can take. And then that was on 15th of April, and this year, 15th April, we were supposed to start with the journey from Cape to Moscow. We were supposed to be in Moscow, by the way, today, right? And tomorrow we would start pulling up to St. Petersburg. But then, literally 2 weeks before the journey, yeah, 2 or 3 weeks, 3 weeks before the journey started, this coronavirus started getting into this. And I'm so glad for the coronavirus, because I planned nothing for this year. And now suddenly I can help so many people more. But this is, you know, it's crucial that we understand this process. So the moment that you start generating money, that money, you need to find a way and property. And this is what we've done with the method. I've taken a challenge that said, in a cryptocurrency, by the 15th, I will have at least $70,000 in a cryptocurrency portfolio, because that's what the cost is. And when I would get back, it would be 140,000. Now, I'm not back yet, but there's a lot more than $140,000 already in that portfolio. By combining everything, like Tiana said, and that is powerful. Rodney, well done, JP. I hope other young people are listening to this and take action. Martina, application of knowledge is where I procrastinate. Martina, now that you know where you get the procrastination. Martina, we've got a course on procrastination, by the way. Andre, the courses help you to get from where you are to where you want to be with basically no risk, and that is actually what it's all about. So I'd like to add more value. Is there anyone that hasn't got the book, the Formula for Riches book? If you want the book, just give me a 2 and I'll tell you where to find it if I get the 2s. Comments on your side, JP? Anything that you'd like to add?
Hannes, you just mentioned the book, and I mentioned previously that I did the property course. I know tonight's about affiliate marketing, but I did the property course 2 or 3 times. And if you remember, this is where this whole thing started for me, is I took out the book out of the cupboard, I dusted it off, and I started reading it again. You know, so people differ. You know, for me, it takes 3 times to do a course over or book before I snap all of the info in there. And you know, I want to tell everyone that's listening tonight, if you know, I think there's a lot of people that bought a book or did something, but for some reason they're just not getting that next step or that extra leap, or they're just not getting started. Just go and redo the course or reread the book again. That works for me.
Great. And Peter, lucky to hear from you again as well. Right. So, JP, if you can give us a sequence now with hindsight, you've gone through the method. You've done exceptionally well with your property. You've started now with, let's call it a sideline business. Where would you start? If you can give us the blueprint, I know that you've given it to us, but just fill in, where would you start and why would you start there?
Well, it's your goal, it's your why. You need to have a very specific and powerful goal to keep you motivated and to give you direction to go from where you are to where you want to be. So for me, definitely, I think that's something that I've focused a lot on, is my goal. And you know, I've been tracking my goal for the last 3 years, and this morning I checked all the Excel spreadsheets that I have. I think I have over 1,000 of them that I save every day. You know, so I wake up in the morning, I go open my computer, and I have a look at my goal, and I think of the 1 or 2 things that I can do today to improve this goal of mine, even if it's just 1%, or even if it's just 0.5%. So my goal is so ingrained that I dream about my goal at night. So for me, and I would recommend everyone out there, is you need to focus on your goal first. You need to make sure that you've got a powerful goal that will give you direction and keep you focused.
Thank you for that. Is there anyone that hasn't got the Power Goal book? I've written a book on the Power Goals ebook. If you haven't got it and you want it, there's a lot of tools. I'm going to show you a little bit later where to find, and we'll make sure that you're going to get that. Anyone that wants the Power Goal book, just give me 3. in the comment section. So if I get a 3, then I'm going to make sure that you're going to get that Power Goal book. All right. So the second step. Now you've got the goal. Right. What now?
Well, you need to start. You need to use the tools at your disposal to generate the income as soon as possible. And for me, I used property, and it took me way, like I presented in the PowerPoint, it took me way too long, just to make that 4,000 rand. So for me, it will then to do a course like the startup to income course, where you can learn how to literally make money within a day or a couple of weeks with no product, no website, not a lot of experience. I mean, look at me. I don't have experience with online marketing, but yet I've got 3 sales. And that motivates me to get 3 more and then 3 more. So by far, do something where you can generate income as fast as possible, because that's going to play a big role in your belief system and motivate you more to go, to get higher success.
Okay, perfect, and I appreciate that. In terms of the goal, you're going to find that with the Power Goal, the book, by the way, is 100% for free. So as soon as you land on what we call the thank you page, I'll give you the link, and then you can follow it. If you don't want the follow up, we call it the Power Goal method or the Power Goal bundle. Ignore that. But the price that I'm going to give it to you is so low that I would strongly urge you to take up that offer. It's going to be like something like 365 rand. I've made it 1 rand for each and every day of the year. That's why it's 365. But I'm going to give you actually 4 courses in that. I want you to start off with the Quantum Awakening, because that is where most people have got serious problems. The Quantum Awakening is that call, that thing that is so big that that it is almost impossible. Because JP, I believe when you set that goal of 220 per month passive income, I don't think for one moment that you really thought that it would be possible, especially with the track record that you had up to that point. Am I right or wrong?
Hannes, to be totally honest, when I started out, my goal was just to reach 50,000 rand per month over the 5 years. But as I went, I started making my goal more difficult because I could see that I'm going to catch my 50,000 rand very easily. So, now it's 220,000 rand, and in the beginning, only 50,000 rand was, way out for me.
And that is what I'm talking about. That goal, that awakening, in your case, the 50,000 was the awakening. If I can just make 50,000, just 50,000, it's the end of all my worries. I'm okay. And then as soon as you start with this journey, but that is the awakening, and that is a Quantum Awakening. That's the first course that I want. Before you even touch the Power Goal and the Power Goal process, before you touch that, do that course first. And once you've done that course, you're going to see that you're going to have a total new mindset when you start looking at the goal, and then go through the process. And then we've got the point game as well as the 91 Perfect Day Challenge that I'm going to give you, that's incorporated. And then you're going to join a community, and a lot of you are on that community, where you're going to see that we encourage one another. And the process is so beautiful, because the moment that you do a course, you incorporate the course into this challenge, and then you do the application of that while you're in this 91, and then the second 91 and the third 91. And the results are absolutely spectacular regarding that. There's another thing that I would like to give you, if it's okay with you. There's a lot of 3s. There's a 1, 2, and 3, and a lot of 1s and 2s and 3s. What about the affiliate system? It's for free if you want to join. And then I can also give you perhaps a whole YouTube channel that I've dedicated, that is from 0 to millions, where I'm taking people through the process in order to build money-making machines. Is there anyone that would be interested in that? If that is the case, in other words, the affiliate system, as well as I'm going to do a combination, that's going to be a 4. And I see this, we already gave me a 4 even before I said that it's going to be a 4. So if you want that, I'm going to give you the link in order to be able to do that. I hope that you see what I'm busy doing. You know, if you are willing to do what JP is willing to do, I'm willing to help you, right? And we've got a team of people, JP and Rudy and Daryl and the people that is coming up. Uh, our job is to help one another. And the more successful JP can become, the more he's going to inspire other people to become successful as well. So your job is to become successful. Now remember, JP said to become successful, I need to get the right information, the right order for the level of the game that I'm at, and then I have to do it. But there's something else. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy goal. In other words, it simply means that, as JP said, every single day, even if it's a 0.5%, even if it's a 0.25%, as long as you know and you've got the results, things are incredible. Rudy is saying with the formula for riches, I started and developed and grew a property investment portfolio with an IRR of 67.65% with a positive monthly cash flow because my tenants are paying me to stay for free. Mahala. In other words, can you imagine if you've got the now one of the things that you learn in one of these playlists that I'm going to give you is I've stopped JP's strategy that he was busy doing. And I said to him, JP, stop. You're not going to get the result. And there's a whole learning experience just in that lesson. So if you want to follow that playlist, give me a 5, and I'll invite you to this a playlist where we're going to go through the process, you know. So prosper to grow, sê asseblief ja, Alton, 4, I see a lot of force, by the way. Right, and then perhaps the last thing that I'd like to give you is invite to the from startup to income. Right, so if you'd like to go from and have a look at that course again is actually we make it, and this was a story from Laura. Laura came to me at one point last year, and she said to me, Dad, I've got so many friends, and they are young, same age about as JP and his wife, and these people are, you know, they're in a rat race, and they don't know how to get out. This was before the coronavirus story. And she said to me, do you think it's possible to take the Rainmakers, which is a 13-week course, and condense that by applying the Pareto principle to that course and speed it up to, let's say, a month? In other words, in a month. I said to her, Laura, you can speed that up. You can start a business in literally in a day. And I've started, by the way, and some of you will know, that with Leon, I've showed him how to start 2 businesses in a day, and we've made a recording of that. But Laura was a little bit, she was still at school at that point in time. So for some crazy reason, she didn't believe the story that you can start a business in a day. And then I took her through a process. And within 4 hours, she had a business. And then when the coronavirus started, she said to me, Dad, I need to get this out as quickly as possible. There's a ton of people. And initially, the purpose and the idea was to help young people. But I see that she's helping everyone. So if you would like to know that, I'm going to put that. That is not for free. You can go and have a look at that. I'll put that in the link as well. I see a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4s, and 5s. And then the property will be number 6. So if you want to attend a property webinar to see where you can learn stuff, that's going to be 7. Please don't try to do everything on a single day, all right? Get your priorities right. I would start with the Power Goal, and then download the stuff and save them. And then once you're done with the Power Goal, you simply start and you say, okay, that is a quantum awakening, that method. Go through that, and then we're going to direct you in the right direction. But then you've got the information, right? And then the affiliate system, I think, is also extremely powerful. I see a lot of 5s and 6 are coming through, Paul and Chris, and right. A last lesson from your side, JP. Is there any question that you guys have got for us specifically that we can address? We've got a minute, and then we're an hour in this, and I hope that you've got extreme value from this session. Want to add something, JP?
First of all, thank you for everyone that took time out of the night to come and have a look at what we're doing, and I really hope that it can inspire anyone out there, young, old, it doesn't matter, just to do something. And the reality is the world's changing, and we need to adapt because we're moving very fast in an online environment. And the tools are out there. You can literally start a business online, put your phone in your pocket, and go wherever you want to and still run that business. So yeah, Hannes, I just thank you for that, and thank you for the opportunity so that I can be part of this.
My pleasure. I'm going to show you guys quickly how and where to find this information. I just need to make sure that I'm getting on the right page. So just stay with me a while. So if you are going to go to this video right after the replay, you'll find that at the bottom it says, just below the video, it's going to say the Wealth Creators Method, and then the show more, and then your comments will start. Of course, at the moment there's not going to be comments, it's chat, but if you join later on, the comments will start showing there. If you click on the show more, if you click that button, all the links that we've promised is already there. So you can literally start and do this stuff right now. Okay, this is on another video, but that is where you're going to find the information. Right, and by the way, this is a playlist where JP shares how he bought this property for $950. And this, by the way, is the thing. The first time that he had it on, I stopped him, and you'll learn later on why I stopped him. But I stopped that, and this was a modified version of the same ad. And this thing is doing exceptionally well. In fact, I can tell you quickly, we posted it yesterday, and I see, JP, by the way, there's 290 views already on that. And this one is even, I think, doing better because we had a thing on it, and we've opened that late yesterday, and there's 329 views already. And this is without promoting it. So I did not tell anyone about this. This is just the way that it works, and the power.
Hi guys, my name is JP Terblanc.
Of what we are busy learning here. So it is in, yeah, it's incredible what can be done if you've got the right information. Okay, so I hope that if in the event that you don't get it or that the links do not work, please contact my office, 012-542-4560. They're still not working, but they are working, and they're on here as well tonight. So, or send them an email, Lilo, L-I-L-O, at propertyschool.co.za, or Netta, N-E-T-T-A, at propertyschool.co.za, and they will come back to you. Anything that you've got a problem, please make sure that you get hold of them. And then also, JP says, let me get JP back. Where are we? There we are. Right. So Rodney says, I purchased the bundle and it definitely contained immense value for me. I'm working on my power goal. Rodney, well done, and thank you for that. A lot of 3s and 2s. And so my son's 17 years old, and I want him to start in a chronological order. There are so many courses. What's the right order for him to take? MD, first of all, just start with a power goal method. Okay. As soon as you receive that email, the first email, the moment that you subscribe, we're going to tell you exactly. And then you're going to find that in the community, the Power Goal community, there's a supplement material that we're going to do, and then that I'm doing. And then there's the point game. You'll find that video where I explain how to get the maximum from every course, not only my courses, MD, every course, every book that you read. This is the way that I'm doing it, and this is the way that I suggest that you do it. I do not take a book like this and just read it. I incorporate this book into my Power Goal because of the value. I'm showing this book. I can show you any book. The moment that I take that book, I first skim read through the index to see what it's going to be. I form a picture of how that fits into my Power Goal. if I pick up a book and this book can't help me to get to my power goal for the level that I'm at that point, or a course, I put it down and maybe at a later stage, I'll be able to get back to it. But if it can't help me immediately, I'm not going to pay for anything. And if you just do that and get your son to do it in the right order, the results will be spectacular. I guarantee. But we're going to give that to you as soon as you subscribe to the Power Goal method for the whole bundle. You'll start getting it, and then you're going to get into it very, very quickly. The Power Goals is a very enlightening course. Thank you, Daryl. I see that you've participated. You've done the Quantum Awakening. You're now in the Power Goal process itself. That's great. Joel, is JP the owner of a brokerage firm, JP Market?
Not that I know of.
No, he's not. Okay. Heinrich, right? And Hannes Jordan, no, Joel. JP has nothing to do with JP Markets. Okay, right. So there, Hannes answered as well. Rudy, come back. The formula for each is very powerful. I've used the Rainmaker skill, a new version of from startup to income to start my own real estate business. And I've achieved over a 3 million% return on investment. Now, Rudy, the moment that you say to anyone that you've got 3 million, I guarantee you that if people do not know the Wealth Creators system and the method, that they're going to say right now that you are cuckoos. I did a little video today, and I don't think I'm going to post it. I saw an advert from Momentum Life, right? Investment. I got so demoedigd when I saw what they were busy doing, right? And I don't know how else to say it, that I walked out and I put on my cell phone. I even carried a tripod out to put on, and I started hammering these people, just talking and say what, but I don't think I'm going to post it. But if you tell those people that you can get a 3 million% growth, they're going to say, cuckoos, it can't be done, it's impossible. But we've got a game that we play, and that's why I know. JP, by the way, is also more than 3 million, I think, on the wealth game that you play. Right. So we know that this is possible, but other people are going to read this and they're going to say, bullshit. And the principle is very simple. We say we do not take risk, because the premise is that other people say the higher the risk, the higher the growth is the biggest nonsense that you've ever heard in your life. And I hope that you get over yourself and don't believe that nonsense, because it's the lower the risk. We as wealth creators do not take any financial risk. That is the trick. And if you can get that risk down, the growth shoots up spectacular. Okay, just by the way. Great stuff. Rudy says, Daryl, Vernon, the levels that you tell us about, how do you determine which level are you at? Maybe at a later stage, Vernon, I've got a lot of material, even on YouTube. Just go and have a look at financial freedom and levels. So type in Honest Dreyer, financial freedom levels, and I'm sure that you'll be able to get one of them where I'll explain it. Okay. So Rudy says, yes, I'm crazy. That's why I bought my rock. And Valdez says, I lost rent from my properties because of the coronavirus, but the tenants are still arrested. What should I do to recover? I've got no idea. I'm not a financial advisor or attorney. I can't help you. Valdez, get someone that can help you with that. Have you done the Property Pro investment, the method, of course, because then you'll know what to do. If you haven't done it, then I'm not the right person to be able to help you. We teach people how to take responsibility for their own lives, and I do not give advice. The moment that you start giving advice, you disempower people. The moment that you give the advice, even if you do it with the best intentions in the world, right? So just let me know, Valdez, if you've done the Property Pro method. Because if you've done, I'll come back to you, my team will come back to you and direct you to where to find that information. All right. Francois agreed with Hannes. We must take responsibility to learn to get the risk down by implication, then the growth is going to skyrocket. I think, JP, we've only got 60 thumbs up. one thumb down. The person that gave me the thumb down, please tell me why you did that. I know that you're not going to do that, but I would love to, because maybe I can help you. My nothing wrong with the thumb down. If it's nonsense that I talked or that's perfect, because that's part of the algorithm. Even if it's a thumb up, the thumb down helps me as much as the thumb up. So that's perfect. But I really want to help you, because obviously I've said something that you do not agree with. And tell me what it is, because then I can come back to you and I can maybe do a whole webinar just on that, because I believe that the moment that we can get that breakthrough, our lives is going to change. So nothing wrong with that. You can give me as many thumbs down as you want. But do yourself a favor and tell me why. Because that may be your what we call a resistor, and that resistor is keeping you from having a life of abundance. I retired at 37. JP is going to be financially free before my age. I know that he's not going to stop. I tried for 7 years to retire, and I almost committed suicide simply because of boredom, believe it or not. We were not born to do nothing. And that's why I started teaching. Tanya said to me in 2002, go and teach. You can't keep this information for yourself. It's the best thing that I've ever done in my life. So to that person, if he's still on, anyone, please just tell me, maybe I can help. Right. Busishwe says, thanks so much, Umanis, for taking your time and teaching all of this. I only came across your videos a week or so ago, and I've opened my mind, and it made me feel like everything is possible and all is possible. Busishwe, this is the truth. We were born to have a life of absolute total abundance. It's because we listen to flipping this bloody system and the political leaders. Their job is to keep you enslaved. Their job is not for you to live your life of abundance. You need to listen to your heart. The moment that you listen to your heart, and as you're going to do this quantum awakening, you're going to discover how great you are and how great your creator created you. You can have everything, but you have to believe in that you can do it, not someone else. These people are there to, and you get a lot of good people that are trying to give that financial advice, but they've never queried the damn system. That's the problem. When I started querying the system didn't want me in the system anymore. But it's because I started querying the system, because I could see in real life that the shit that they were busy teaching me were nonsense. Right. Now, okay, so Daryl gives a lot of hands, and Rudy a lot of, and Vernon, and even Lilo comes in with her hearts, and Laurie, and Colin, just okay, right. I think let's call it a night. Thank you so much, JP. It was really a pleasure. I hope that we can do it again. If you know, or if you've done and got results, and you want something like this, and I can interview, please let me know. And then also, if you want JP back at some stage, please let us know. And then, yeah, from your side, the last thing that you want to say, JP, now it needs to be words of wisdom, eh?
No, Hannes, it all boils down to take action. I said in my presentation, my dad sent me an ad. Now, this was 4 years ago, and I did not want to go to one of your seminars, but instead I acted and I went. And today I'm so grateful that I did. And it doesn't matter how uncomfortable it felt at that stage. The important thing is that I acted and I did, and that created or that gave me a reputation of I act. Whenever there's something that bothers me or something that I know I have to do, I act. So if I can end this night, just act. Doesn't matter how uncomfortable it feels, just act.
Okay, and here's the trick. Here's the trick. We go
and implement.
So many. Thank you for catching yourself there. We gave you so many free stuff. At least tell yourself tonight, let me go and download and save this and start with the Power Goal, right? And if you are serious, go for that from startup to income. That is an incredible, incredible, incredible course. And if you combine that with this Power Goal, you'll start seeing how these, let's call it, blinds that we had, how these blinds are being removed. I want to thank you for an incredible presentation. JP, thank you for that. Martina says, JP, no, I'm honest. I will try again. Thanks, take action. Great. Do not procrastinate. Nothing wrong, Martina, with procrastination. By the way, Martina, if you really know your why, you're going to find that it's a lot easier not to procrastinate. Okay. Dank u, Manus. Thanks a million. Dank u, Manus and JP. Well done. Watch the replay. Great. Vernon, go for it. JP, great. Peter, lekker. For the first time, joined a webinar. Let's see where this is going to take me. Peter, I'm so glad that you joined this webinar. Thank you for that. And then Robin, everyone says okay. Thanks, JP. Let's say cheers, and then I'll see you. Please make sure that you go and download that stuff, and that you start implementing. And I'll see you in the next one. See you. Cheers. Bye. Thank you, JP.
Thank you. Bye.